All right, we are recording. So, welcome to our team call for this week. I'm super excited about the momentum that you guys have been creating. We've got people achieving things they haven't achieved before this month. And so, super proud of you guys. Ashley Dow, shout out to you, girl. Kelly Williams doing some awesome things, and Michelle Taylor killing it with her new business. So, super proud of you, girls. We have a special guest tonight I'm super excited about. And I just kind of found out about Cody recently through Tamara Kite. She tagged me in one of his posts, and she had messaged me and said, you really need to be following Cody. He's amazing. And so I did. I took her advice, and lo and behold, he is an amazing gem of a guy that's going to share some really cool stuff with us tonight. So I want to share just a little bit with you guys about Cody in case you're not familiar with him yet. Definitely go follow him on Facebook and see what he's up to over there. He's adding tremendous free value all the time. And if you have the opportunity to work with him in a professional way, then go for it. And I'm sure he'll share a little bit more about that with us later tonight. But just to kick things off, Cody is father, a son, an entrepreneur, an elite athlete, and the founder of Embrace the Lion, which I love. It's a container that holds customized experiences where clients can activate and execute their purpose, passion, and power. Love that alliteration there. He's a man who relentlessly believes in the untapped potential of the individual. And so he focuses on 4 different pillars as he works with people in their businesses and in their goals: head, heart, health, and habits. Embrace the Lion is an elite community that empowers individuals within the exclusive community to step fully into their truest and most powerful self. So as you guys can see, it's a great fit for what we do as Beachbody coaches. Really, you could take all of that that Cody's doing, and you could narrowly focus it into what we do through health and fitness coaching and motivation and empowering people to live their best lives. And it's essentially, we're all doing the same thing, trying to take the lessons we've learned in life and pay it forward and pass it on and create an income and a sustainable business while we're at it. So Cody doesn't know I'm doing this, but before he takes over, I would like for Tamara to share right quick a couple of words of introduction to Cody because she's currently working with him. So Tamara, if you would just share just a little bit of info on Mr. Cody for us, I'd appreciate it.
Certainly. So my relationship with Cody actually started before all this, and in kind of a different avenue. He was the worship leader at my church, and so that's kind of how I first met him. And he went through a lot of stuff, which I'm sure he's going to share, and then had some struggles. In the past year or two, he's had this amazing transformation that I've been able to watch on Facebook, and I just kept seeing him posting things, and I'm like, I need that. I need exactly, what he's talking about. He talks a lot about mindset, and I'm like, man, I need this. He speaks to me. He really just was speaking to me. And so he recently posted about a group he was doing, and I reached out to him and was like, oh my goodness, I need this, but I really cannot afford this. But I was listening to the 5-second rule at the time, which if you have not listened to that, if you have not read or done the Audible of Mel Robbins' book, highly recommend that book. Anyways, and she was talking about how you have to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just have to do it, and you can't just, if you don't go for it, you're going to stay in the same place. And yes, things may not be cheap, but if you want to change, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. So I did. I reached out to him, said, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. And I guess it's been 2 weeks or almost 2 weeks. And seriously, I've had so many aha moments with just things that I was believing about myself that weren't true. And, he talks a lot about affirmations, which, Miranda's talked about a lot. But just the way he approaches it was exactly what I needed. And like I said, it was an aha moment. So seriously, I highly recommend getting in his groups. You will have so many things that are opened up to you, and experience so many changes. I really, in this week and a half, I'm like, I feel like I'm already a totally different person than I was a week and a half ago. So yeah, life transformational for sure.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you for sharing, Tamara. So what that means, you guys, is you need to have your paper and your pencil ready, because smart people take notes. And, you know, if you guys haven't ever looked at the science of taking notes, it's not that you ever go back and look at it again, but it solidifies it deep down in your brain. I just threw my pen talking with my hands, but it gets it down deep into your brain when you write it down. So really dig into this call, take notes if you're not driving, and soak it all up. So without further ado, I'm going to unmute you, Mr. Cody Jefferson, and let you take it over from here.
Great. Hey, I want to ask really quick, is anyone else's connection unstable, or is it just mine? If you're good, right, like give a thumbs up. Check out my cool knuckle tattoos.
That's awesome.
Job stoppers. Yeah, so really quick, before we even get started talking about the importance of taking notes, like let me show you, like this is what my journal looks like every day. Like these are the notes that I take in the mornings when I do personal development and I'm reading. And so I'm a huge fan of note taking. I'll take notes on anything and everything. So guys, I'm super pumped to be here. I'll tell you a little bit about myself here in a second, but it really is an honor to serve you. It's an honor to have a bit of your time to add maybe some value or some insight into not only your business, but as who you are, as individuals, and what your potential is. I've got a fly in here, so if you see me going Miyagi on things, just know, like, I'm not high, there's just a fly. Or that's the story I'm going to stick to through this call. So when I was in high school, I wrestled. And so then into college, I wrestled. I'd been an athlete my entire life. And when I was 23, maybe 24, I was handed a box of DVDs, right? Because I had reached a plateau in my fitness journey. And I had done a lot of different types of training, but somebody handed me this box of DVDs and said, hey, you've got to try this. I bet this is exactly what you're going to need. And this was probably, this was like 10, 11 years ago. It was P90X. It had just come out. So I honor Beachbody and the whole community, because really when we talk about this type of a fitness model, I don't just talk about it in terms of like wanting to honor you. Like, I've done it. I coach a lot of Beachbody coaches. One of my best friends is a coach to coaches. His name is Josh Coates. He lives here in Tulsa with me. I'm really good friends with Andrea Crowder, who's another coach as well. And I love Beachbody. So guys, my name is Cody. Again, I am a coach myself. I was, as Tamara said, I was in ministry for 12 years. Occupationally full-time. And so I traveled the country, honestly telling stories. So I was a youth pastor, I was a communications pastor, I was a worship pastor, I was a media director, I was a small groups director, I was a curriculum writer, anything. I was a janitor, because that's what you do when there's a mess. So there was no job that I was above, and there was no job that I was below. And so for 13 years, I gave my life to honestly listening to stories and sharing stories. I really hope, Miranda, that is a painted picture of you behind you, because that's amazing. As you can tell, I'm really into tattoos, and you'll see tattoo work above me. That's what I keep behind me, and then a whiteboard to coach with. And so I love stories. I am a sucker for stories. If you follow my page at all, at any given time, all you're going to hear is stories. You're never really going to hear me pitch anything. I'll let you know what I'm doing in case you're interested, but I'm never going to pitch you anything, right? Because why? Storytelling. Let's talk about it. Storytelling leads to a single truth. Storytelling builds trust. Storytelling, it deepens the understanding of who we are. Storytelling creates a community, right? For those of us who are in any type of religious circle at all, like, we know that storytelling builds community. That's what we do. And storytelling can also engage the mind in what's possible. On the flip side, storytelling can wound. Storytelling can destroy. Storytelling can abuse. And it's up to us to discern what kind of story we're going to tell. And it's up to us to really discern how we want our story shared. So I know what you sell. I don't like, oh, and by the way, I do use a little bit of profanity. So if there are kids in the room, I'm not going to use any like of the bad ones, quantify. But like, what do you sell? Like, I don't give a shit what you sell. Nobody cares what you sell. Honestly, nobody cares. You sell Beachbody. Beachbody's amazing. If I was ever going to be involved in any type of multi-level or structured organization, it would be Beachbody. Why? Because it's a product and a service that actually works, right? Like, you have to do things. It's not like oil that you put in a thing and like maybe it cures cancer when you throw it in the air. It's not saran wrap that you put around your waist and like all of a sudden you're thin. Like, this is a program that you have to work. And if you will put in the effort, you will see results, right? Not only that, but you get a community within this, right? Like, here you guys are. I love Beachbody. You don't have to sell me on Beachbody, but I don't care that you sell Beachbody. Why? Because I've got 50 other people in my news feed also selling Beachbody and selling every other product that they want to sell. So it becomes white noise to me. You're not telling me a story. You're just selling me something. So what is your role then? If your role isn't to sell, what is your role? Your role is just to tell a better story. You're inviting others into a better story. You're inviting others to write a new chapter. You're inviting people to turn the page. And to be honest, you're inviting people to believe their story is worth telling. Because I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, I struggled for a long time with believing that my story was even worth sharing. I was really good at sharing other people's stories. I was really good at sharing stories out of a book that was part of my job. I was really good at crafting those in a way that would emotionally connect with you, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that conveyed the truth of what I was trying to say. Because at the end of the day, I was trying to sell you something. I was trying to sell you a relationship, but I was selling without selling. I was just telling you a story. And so for you, I don't know, you may be like I was. You may not think your story is good enough. So what do? We borrow from other people's stories. We lie. We will flat out lie. One of the biggest frustrations for me when I see coaches or entrepreneurs in your industry or in others, when I know you personally and you are saying things online that are just flat out not true about your life or your journey or your finances, people are hungry for truth and they can see through your bullshit. Or we just hide. We hide because we think our story is not worth telling, or we don't know how to tell it in a way that is compelling, in a way that is inviting and engaging, so we hide. What do we hide behind? Well, for many in the industry, you hide behind corporate jargon. You hide behind the same pictures that everyone else is posting. You hide behind the same long form copy that's full of like emoticons that I don't know where they come from, but I swear everybody's posting them. I just don't know where they come from. I don't know if there's like a website like lamecopyforcoaches.com. I don't know, but everybody's posting them. And so what happens? You're not engaging in one because you're not sharing your story. You're just now white noise because I've seen this a million times. So what has to happen? Tamara's touched on this earlier. So I am a coach who, before I focus on anything, I focus on your mindset. We dig deep into removing limiting beliefs. So what are beliefs? Let's talk about it real quick. So we all feel something, right? Ooh, Jennifer, this is PG right now. Put those away. So we are all feeling something right now, right? That feeling is predicated by a thought. So there's a thought that runs through our head, and that leads to a feeling. Well, at the base of these thoughts, so a belief is this. A belief is just a thought you hold on to longer than others. You have around 100, if you're a slow thinker, 100 thoughts a minute. You're constantly thinking. Now, you don't give attention to a lot of these thoughts. What are the thoughts you typically give attention to? The negative ones. Why? It's how our brain works. And so we hold on to these thoughts. Oh, and if you're wondering what that is, it's remember why you started. That's what that RWYS. We'll talk about that later. So you hold on to these beliefs, right? It doesn't matter if they serve you or not. You just hold on to them because you've been told them. If you were told your entire life that you're not worth loving, that you're not good enough, that you're never going to be athletic, you're never going to be thin, you're never going to be as successful as your brother or your sister or the person beside you, you hear that long enough. If you're in a relationship where you're constantly belittled, you're going to start believing these things, not because you want to, but because you hear them long enough and they are a thought for long enough that your brain holds them captive and they become a belief. So when people tell you things over and over and over, or you tell yourself something over and over and over and over and over, guys, neurologically, your brain just hardwires itself to believe that to be true. And so what do? We work on taking this fist that you're holding these beliefs in, and we try to open it. Now, here's the deal. Some of your thoughts are great, right? Some of us have spiritual thoughts that serve us well. Some of us need to get rid of some of those spiritual beliefs that we have that no longer serve us. But here's my suggestion, is that you open your hand and you survey the beliefs. And how do you get down to the belief system? So I'm going to go over this really quickly because I do think that this will help you whether you believe it or not right now. I do believe this will help if you will implement it. If you don't, well, it's not going to help you at all. We focus a lot on affirmations. Why? Because if you tell yourself something long enough, you will believe it. If you can combat the negativity in your mind long enough, you'll believe it. So what do? I have people take a notebook or some sort of small field notes journal, and anytime a limiting belief comes into your brain, you write it down. And on the opposite side of the page, you write the exact opposite. I'm not worth loving. I am love. Not only am I worth loving, I'm worth receiving and giving love, and I'm great at it. I will never be successful in this business. I am successful in this business because success is not defined by a monetary amount. Success is defined by the contentment of your heart and knowing that you're changing lives. Success is knowing that you're showing up in your most powerful self, doing exactly what you're created to do, which is just to be you. We're going to talk about that. So you get down to the core of these beliefs and you write the exact opposite of all of these limiting beliefs, and you start telling yourself these things every single day. As often as you need to tell yourself. It's going to feel really hokey at first. You're going to feel real dumb. I promise. It's just how it goes. You're going to think it's a waste of time. Some of you will quit doing it. But if you will stick with it, everything will change for you. And how will you know when it changes? You'll know by the comfortableness, by the easiness of saying these things and believing them. It gets down into, so you are at the core of who you are I am. I'm not trying to get all spiritual with you and like compare you to God. Calm down. Some of you probably your own gods, and that's great. I don't care. I am. You can say you're a lot of things. It can change. I am out of shape. I'm in shape. I'm fat. I'm thin. I'm wealthy. I'm poor. I'm married. I'm divorced. Right? I'm happy. I'm sad. But at the core of all that is I am. Right? I am. I am is bigger than your body. It's bigger than your belief system. It's everything, it's the energy, soul, whatever you want to call it, the vibration, whatever. At the very core of who you are is I am. And regardless of what you've ever been told, at any point in time, you get to redefine who that person is and how that person shows up. If you're tired of the story that you've been telling, write a new chapter. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to serve? And you need to get real specific about that. Your story will be heard by a very specific audience. You can have the limiting mindset to say, yeah, like, listen, the market's really saturated and gosh, I just don't really know. Like everybody's doing it. Everybody's a coach. Success probably isn't for me because the market's really saturated. No, it's not. There's only one you. Nobody else has your friends list. Nobody else has your relationships. Nobody else has your personality. Nobody else has your journey. Nobody else has your story. Nobody else has the ways in which you've overcome adversity. Nobody has any of that. Your market isn't saturated. It's never going to be saturated because your market is always going to be growing if you continue to show up. The people you are called to serve will show up when you start telling the truth. That's when your clients will start showing up. That's when your customers will start showing up. More importantly, that's when your tribe and your community will show up. When you decide to tell the truth. How can you best serve these people that you're called to? By being you. The greatest gift, I like those cartwheels in the back, by the way. The greatest gift you're going to give anyone, the greatest gift you'll ever give me, is you. And if there is a limiting belief in you that believes that to not be true, you need to get to the core of that and you need to replace it. Because who you are is worth being. Who you are is worth loving. Where you are now is worth being. And we push forward. So what do? How in the blank do you become successful in Beachbody? You share your story. At the end of the day, the only thing you're going to successfully sell is you. The coaches that I work with that are successful tell their stories well, and they don't deviate from their stories. And you can tell in every ad copy they're writing, because let's be honest, like everything we write, like you need to understand your entire social media account. It's not your damn diary. It's not where you air any dirty laundry. It is your business. You are a social network entrepreneur. Everything you post on social media better have meaning behind it and better be to speak into adding value to your client. That's why you need to know who your client is. How old are they? What's their demographic? What's their socioeconomic background? What shows are they watching? Are they married? Are they divorced? What part of the country do they live in? What are their hobbies? Why are they thinking that Beachbody is the way to go? Like, why is fitness, why is diet and exercise. Why is that going to be important to them? See, when you get really, really, really narrow on who it is you're wanting to work for and who your ideal client is, we call it an avatar. Guys, writing and sharing your story becomes really, really easy because you're sharing your story to a very small segment of people. A lot of times we think, well, I can't do that. I've got to serve everyone. I just want to save the world. I want to help everyone. You're not going to help anyone. You need 100 out of the, over 100 million people on Facebook? You need 100 people. You need 100 people that think you're the shit and that will sing your praises. That's it. Like, that's literally it. You could honestly, in Beachbody, you could do it with 10. Why? Because then you duplicate. You share this kind of stuff with them. Listen, I don't need you to post any corporate stuff. I don't need you to talk about the product at all. You guys would do really well not talking about your product at all. Christians would do really well not talking about Jesus at all. Right? There's a lot of things we would do really well just not talking about and showing the journey, showing how our life has changed, showing people interested in your lifestyle. They want to see the journey. How are you losing weight? Why is your skin glowing? Why is I thought you were getting a divorce. How is your marriage suddenly restored? I started showing up for myself. You share the journey. So you figure out your way of inviting us into your journey and into your transformation. When we talk about, I don't know if you're familiar with lead magnets. So anytime that we talk about sales, especially online, there's a lead magnet. A lead magnet is, so anyone that's interested in your product is a lead, right? And so a lead magnet is how you get them in. Some of you will run challenges. Some of you will run how to prep food or whatever. I don't care. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. The greatest lead magnet you're ever going to have that will give you the greatest ROI is being honest. Because your story is worth sharing. I hope you're not as fit as you can be right now. There's nowhere to go from there. I hope you're on the journey of figuring out what health and diet and exercise and the balance of a family or a divorce or a job change or the stress of day-to-day life and how this creates balance for you. I want to know that. I don't need to know that it's Beachbody. I want to see the transformation. We call that curiosity marketing. You create the curiosity, and I'm going to want to know what's different about you. You know, I've never run an ad for my business. I've never reached out to anyone saying I wanted to work with them. I don't spend any money. I don't create any free opt-ins. I've just shared my story. I've shared the story of the past 13 years of serving people. I've shared the story of my marriage falling apart. I shared the story of my 18-month-old niece being raped to death. I shared the story 3.5 months ago of my 19-year-old sister being murdered. I shared the story of my mother being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I share the journey of my younger brother recently getting out of being incarcerated in prison for drugs. I share that my older brother will probably overdose this year because of drugs. It's not glamorous. People who have all their shit together and pray the right prayers and are like super successful and drive snazzy cars and like have 6-packs, they're not supposed to have this kind of shit. Like, that's not what I see on ads. But when people see that I'm not falling apart, when people see that I'm getting stronger, when people see that I develop systems to help other people recognize their power and step into it, when people see, holy shit, this mindset thing might actually be a thing. Like, he's not in a corner, like unable to do anything. He's actually getting stronger. Does that mean I don't mourn? Absolutely. And I share that as well. I share where I was 18 months ago physically and where I am now. I share that I was 130 pounds and I'm 165 pounds now. Because when everything went down, I went into adrenal failure and I almost died. I was septic. I was unconscious for 5 days. I brought all my family and said I was going to die. Guess what, bitch, is not. And so I knew that I was here for a purpose. I left ministry. Why? Because I got tired of people saying, well, you just got to trust in the Lord. That's not a story I want to buy into. I want to buy into the story that I've got everything I need in me to create the life, to create the health, because my spirituality is that if I'm created in the image of God, well, then I already have everything I need. I don't need a crutch. I don't need for somebody to wait. I don't need to wait to pray that hopefully someday I'm going to walk across water with him. No, there's some wood over there. I've got hands. I'm going to build a damn boat and sail across it. You have everything that you need inside of you to be successful, not only in this, but in every area of your life. You just have to decide whether you're going to see it or not. Where you're at right now is exactly where you are. Let that sink in. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what you did last week, last year, 5 years. None of it matters. It's only real because you hold it in your brain. It's only real because you hold it in your brain. And you get to pick what's powerful and what's not. You get to pick how you tell the story. You can be a victim or you can be a hero. Cody, it's not that simple. The hell it's not. It actually is that simple. I mean, I can turn my head right here, and you can see that really sweet, wicked horseshoe. I didn't get kicked by a horse, which is what people ask all the time. No, I had a stepdad who took a baseball bat to my head when I was 8 years old. Am I a victim? No. I talked to him last year, and I thanked him. I talked to him the first time in 25 years. And I thanked him. Why? Because I wouldn't be who I am without it. Part of the journey that made me. So I share it that way. Every bad thing that's happened to you, every good thing, it's all made you who you are. And that's what's going to make you successful in anything you choose to do. You were created to be you and to share your journey. And your journey happens to include Beachbody. You are successful in this business when you create a tribe. You create a tribe of people who believe you, who trust you, and who want to be in the journey together with you. And hell, maybe make some money doing it. Nothing wrong with that. You're inviting people into much more than an app on their phone that has a whole bunch of programs. That's cool. That's cool. But the buy-in is really, really low. I can buy that and then just not show up for it. That's not a big investment. Right? It's under $200 to get, it's nothing. So it's got to be more than that. So there's the accountability of this community that you're growing. That's where the duplication comes in. That's where the process comes in. Because you as a coach, you're more than just checking in with people. How much weight did you lose this week? How are you doing? No, it's where's your mind at? How's the balance? You're called to be much, much more in your story than simply selling a program. You're a leader. You are. Whether you choose to believe it right now or not, you're a leader. I don't care how many people are in your downline, if there's one, or if there's not any. Anyone who pays attention to anything that you post on social media, you're leading them because they're giving you their time and attention. I'm leading you right now because you're allowing me to. You'll find your audience when you start being honest and showing up, documenting the journey. It's the best gift you'll give them. And they'll opt into Beachbody because they'll see your transformation. They won't have to hear about it through your ads. So that is my spiel. A few things I would recommend that you do. Affirmations every day. I would recommend that you read and journal every single day. If you are looking for a book, I'll give you a couple books that you should read. You should read The Prosperous Coach. And you should read Mindset. Not only will they change your life, but they will change the life of everyone that you interact with and everyone that you lead. So I recommend that you read and journal every single day. I don't care how long. I read a long time. Some people don't. I don't care. You need to meditate every day. And I'm not talking about being Buddhist. I don't care if you are. I've got Buddhas in my house just to mess with people. Why? Because there's stimulus and there's always a reaction. Always. Right? And your mindset, I'll tell you your mindset. I don't care what you say you believe. Your mindset, I'll tell you what you believe based on your reactions. Yes, Rick, I will send you those. I'll tell you what you believe based on your reactions. So all meditation does, for 20 minutes, you breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold for 5 seconds, you release for 5 seconds, and you hold for 5 seconds. If there's something you're struggling with, like patience or success or confidence, at the top of the breath, I am confident. I am successful. I am loving. I am worth loving. I love myself. I am fit as, whatever. And then do it at the bottom of the breath as well. It's an affirmation, but it's also meditation. Why? Because what it does is it trains your brain cognitively to say that you're in control. And so that when limiting thoughts come in, you don't just automatically react to them. It gives you space to respond instead of react. You will lead your team better. You will lead your family better. You will lead yourself better. So I would recommend those things. I'm going to write these books in the comment section because I think Miranda's got a couple things to say.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. First I have to wipe my tears and catch my breath. Guys, I want us all to not let this moment, this information that we've been taking notes on and absorbing, don't let this pass you by. I don't know about you guys, but this hit me right between the eyes. Getting vulnerable with you guys. I have been going through a lot the past few weeks, and I have not been being honest and sharing my story. I have been pretty much silent with you guys and on social media. Shame comes in. I cry. Worrying what people will think comes in, and I know I'm not alone because I'm looking at the faces of the people who are on here. And, you're with me on my team because you're like me. We share qualities, like attracts like, right? And I know that you guys are trapped in the same struggle. I've talked to so many of you privately. After the call we had with Dave last week, a lot of you messaged me and said, that call unearthed some things in you. And private messages were coming to me like crazy from several of you that are on here tonight. And so I know that collectively we all struggle with feeling like we can share our truth. And so I hope that you guys will go through piece by piece the notes that you took and apply what Cody is telling us, because nothing's going to change until what's between our ears changes, right? The mean girl, I call her the mean girl that lives in my head, always working on kicking her out, always. We can't go anywhere as a team if we're not supporting one another in these changes that we have to make. So just like in our challenge groups, we can expect the people that sign up to work with us to make changes on their own in their nutrition, in their fitness, in their consistency. We can't expect our team to move forward. We can't make changes in our business if we're not helping support one another in achieving the goals of changing our mindset, of doing the affirmations, of learning to sit still and meditate and attack those negative thoughts and replace them, and reading books that move you forward. These are all things that I had gotten away from. And in the last 2 weeks, I found my gratitude again and have been writing out daily gratitude. And it's amazing how many things go unnoticed every single day that are gifts to us. Blessings are all around. Abundance is all around. And when we are mired in the negativity, mired in the limiting beliefs, we don't see them. And we're living in a tunnel as though nothing good is happening for us. And all around are these amazing things going on, and we're pushing them away simply because we're choosing to focus on the negativity and how we don't measure up and all those lies we're telling ourselves. So guys, I would love for you guys to take advantage of, Cody still being on with us. Do you have specific questions? Cody, I hope that's okay with you. If you guys have some specific limiting beliefs you're having a really hard time getting rid of, if you have specific questions for him on, sharing your story, finding your tribe, being honest, I would really like for you to not let this pass you by and ask those questions.
So there are a couple questions. One's from Jessica, like, how do you share these things without hurting people you love? And Tamara said the same thing. When I share certain things, my mom swoops in and tells me I should not have shared. So let me tell you a really fun story. So as I said, I was in ministry for a number of years. Through part of my time in ministry, I struggled with drinking. And so I wasn't like going to the church like drunk all the time or anything. But because my family was struggling with their own addictions, I was helping walk them through that. I was showing up for everyone. I was married. I was in a double master's program. And we also had a child on the way. It was too much. And so at night I would drink to alleviate all of my stress. A few times it got really out of control. In turn, like, not like violent or anything, but like I just drank way too much. Like we had to have an ambulance come out because I was like throwing up so much. It was really glamorous, really awesome. It was a really high moment for me. I shared it on social media, which my son's mother, my ex-wife, immediately messaged me like, you okay? Yo, like, because like we had kept that a secret for so long. So why did I share it? How do I say this? Your secrets, the things that you're so afraid of people finding out about you, you think that's the power, the fear. When you lay it all out there and you decide to throw up your middle fingers to fear and say, you know what, I'm just going to share this because I'm going to remove anybody's ability to gossip about this or to wonder about this or to give it any power. Like, that's not who I am. It was a season of my life, but it's not who I am. So let me share it. So if you're struggling with this, you know that we can talk about this. And I'm not going to judge you because, hell, here I am. I was a mess. You would never have known it. Never. And we're really good at that. We're really, really, really good about appearing really great in front of everyone, putting on our Sunday best every time we pop on social media. And behind closed doors, we cry ourselves to sleep because we're depressed, because we don't know how we're paying our bills. We don't know why business isn't growing. We don't know why our spouse is distant. We don't know why we haven't found a spouse yet. We don't know why we can't have kids. We don't know why our parents didn't love us. We don't know why our friends didn't choose us. There's so many things that we don't know, but we won't share them because we have to appear a certain way. You want to grow your tribe? Just be fucking honest. I shared the journey of after leaving ministry. Another reason I left ministry is spiritually, I just began to grow and expand. When you get into mindset and you get into the neuroplasticity and you get into the learning about these things, you start to realize that like a belief is only true because it's yours. So I shifted, and I shifted in a way that said, like, I believe it to be true because it serves me, but I don't believe it's the only way. I don't even believe it's the right way. It's just my way, which then to a lot of people would sound like New Age spirituality or universalism, or I don't like, and honestly, I made a long post where I was like, I really don't care. Like, call me what you want. Well, the I mean, the church just laid into me in terms of like people that I'd known for years. Why? Was I mad about it? No, I'm not mad. Like, I don't care. I do, but only in the sense that, like, I want to challenge you. I want to mess with you. I want to challenge this shit you're holding in your hand. Like, if you're as you say they are, like, well, it's not going to go anywhere. My family are very, just incredibly strong Southern Baptists. My grandfather, rest his soul, was the president of the Oklahoma Gospel Singing Association. I mean, like, we know the Gaithers. Like, that's my history. And when I started sharing this kind of things, my entire family's disowned me. I've blocked all of my family on social media. Why? It's not because I don't love them. It's because the only way that we can have family dinners together and still love like, just be great. It's not me. Like, I just don't have I have nothing to hide or prove or protect. Like, I am who I am, and it's enough. But when you hold on to something so tight, you have to protect it and you have to defend it. And when you push a wounded dog into a corner, it's going to attack. And you have to understand that. When you share your story and people attack, they're not attacking you. They're attacking the way that you're making them feel. You're attacking long-held beliefs that they're holding on to and they don't want to question. No one can make you believe anything, but they can make you feel something. And when you make someone feel something that contradicts a belief, you're going to get friction. And when you can understand that, and that when you can understand that sometimes walking in love is walking in distance, I'm unapologetic about what I share. Why? Because I don't give a shit whether you like it or not. I don't. Because I'm here for the people that I'm called to serve. That's it. That's the only people I'm talking. That's why I say narrow who it is that you're trying to reach and be unapologetic about speaking to them. Like, if my views on spirituality just like piss you off and you like want a box, yeah, we're probably not going to work together. Like, so just unfollow me and then we can be cool. If somebody's not liking your story and they don't like what you're sharing, cool, unfollow me. Well, my friends are going to see it. You can't share these things. Listen, I can share whatever I want. Now, here's the deal. There is a way in which to share things, especially if you've gone through trauma or abuse or negative situations, that honor the story. A lot of times we do a really good job of being a victim in the story, and that does not serve anyone. That serves you. Because for some reason you need affirmation from people and you need people to feel for you. And so you share from a place of victimization. But when you can share from a place of honor, because this story has no power over you, you don't have to name names. You don't have to go into detail. You know what? I was in a really toxic relationship once. And here's what I learned. I really struggled in my family here. And here's where I overcame it. And here's how. Guys, I'd love to tell you how showing up physically and finding a community that would support me and hold me accountable. I found out when I showed up physically, everything changed for me. Because the one thing I thought I couldn't control was my body. And when I realized I could control my body and I could see change in it, well, then I can control anything. Well, now you want to know about the fucking community and program. But I didn't say anything about Beachbody. I just told you the truth. It's hard with listen, I've got an ex-wife. Like, let's talk about like the ways in which you dance around things you can and can't talk about on social media. I get it. My significant other has a special needs kid. She's got cerebral palsy. I'm reading this from Jessica. She's got cerebral palsy. She's got autism and a seizure disorder. She eats through a G tube in her stomach. I get it. We share about it. You can go look on my page. I talk about her all the time. I'm not exploiting her. I'm sharing what she teaches me every day. So she'll eat. And she throws it up because her esophagus collapses. But she just wants to be a normal kid. She just wants to be normal. And so she'll eat. And then she'll excuse herself and throw up. She wants privacy. She doesn't want anybody around. She's 8 years old. And the other day we were eating pizza. It was a cheat meal, okay? It was a cheat meal. We're eating pizza. And she's to the crust of the pizza. And she's like literally like almost in tears excited. I'm like, Aubrey, what's up? She's like, I went so slow. And I ate a whole piece. What is that? I was talking to a client the other day who she was getting so frustrated because her daughter keeps chasing her. Like she drops her, it was the summer, she drops her daughter off. Her daughter's 9, drops her daughter off at the grandmother's house, but the daughter like chases her down the street in the car so she can get one more hug and kiss. And she's like, I'm losing my shit with her every day. I'm yelling at her. I don't know what to, like, she just will not listen to me. She is like going through the separation anxiety. The dad's not in the picture. Like I can't handle her like running after me every single day. Like I'm late every day. I said, yeah, that really sucks until you have a daughter that can't run. Then you'd give anything to have her run to the car. There are ways in which to share things that honor and that show growth, that show gratitude. In everything and every day, everything's a gift. Approach every story as a gift that you're sharing with the people you're called to. Then you won't have to worry about who you're honoring or not honoring, because it's all honoring. I hope that helps.
Tremendously. Jessica's son has a G-tube also. That's what she's doing right now. Feeding him. It's a beautiful thing. You guys, questions?
Oh, it.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thoughts? Middle fingers.
Aha moments. It's better when you guys share. Don't be quiet.
I don't really have a question, but I just kind of want to add something. So I struggle with mindset a lot, and I've been going through, I was in a funk this past week. Really, it was like anxiety and depression kind of like creeping in. And I was like, I can't just like stay silent about it because I felt just like attacked. And I was like, if I'm the only person, I can't be the only person that's going through this. So I shared it, and it was one of those posts where it like makes you want to throw up, and you're like, just want to throw your phone and like not look at your phone the rest of the day. And that opened so many doors to talk to so many new people that had never liked my posts before, that had never, interacted with me. So that's just what I wanted to add. It was scary as shit to say it, but I mean, it felt good to like get it off my chest and be like, oh, okay, I can breathe. Like, and other people were like, girl, I feel you. So I'm not alone.
Yep, and we all had your back, right? Like our whole team was commenting and encouraging you and posting, and yeah, we don't have to do this alone. That's the beautiful thing about our community is if you do have an open share like that scares the crap out of you, you're not going to be alone in that. Even if the 400 people from our team are the only people commenting, we got you. We got you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Alyssa. Anybody else before we wrap up? You guys are quiet tonight. You're thinking, processing. Rick, Alexia, Jennifer, Tracy, anybody got anything? Jessica, I know you're feeding Jet. All right, guys. I'm going to thank you, Cody, on behalf of everybody that was on tonight. Life-changing stuff here, man. God bless what you're doing to help change lives. People need what you're sharing. People need this. People need to be free. I need to be free. So thank you so much for what you're doing out there in the world. Wow, I'm kind of speechless, and that rarely happens. Any final thoughts from you, Cody, before we wrap up?
Listen, I don't say this as any type of platform. It really, we've been on this call for an hour now, and it's time. I appreciate your time, and I honor you, and I believe in every single one of you. That's not like a bullshit like thing to say. I really do, and it is a gift to be able to share in this evening with you. Thank you. If there's any way I can serve you through this conversation, if you want to continue this conversation, please, like, my inbox is open. I'm not going to be like creepy and be like, just slide into my DMs, but I have a personal page and a public page. Public page is Embrace the Lion. And then obviously my personal page is just Cody Jefferson. Please feel free to message me, add me, whatever. I'm in this journey with you. I am grateful for you because you are, honestly, you're going to change lives that I'm never going to change directly. But my goal, my whole MO in life is that I want 1 million lives, like through every pinpoint contact. So the lives that you're going to impact and change, the lives that you are impacting and changing, I'm counting those. And so I need you to show up because I need you to help me. And so that's why I do these things. That's why I do these types of calls. I want you to understand that your potential is limitless. I don't care what anyone's told you or what you might have believed is true. Like, your potential is limitless. The possibilities for you are limitless. I believe you. I am for you. Again, it is an honor to serve you, and I'm so grateful. I hope you have an amazing night with yourself, with your family, with Netflix, with a book, with your cold messaging, whatever you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll post the recording to this in a little bit, and Cody, I'll send it over to you as well in case you'd like to use it later on. So good night, everybody. God bless.